Good evening, Gamecocks. I'm Mills Hayes with Student Gamecock Television, and I'm here with the leaders of student government. And I'll let you guys introduce yourself.
Hey, Michael Parks, Student Body President.
I'm Ross Lorda, the Student Body Vice President.
And I'm Stinson Rogers, your Student Body Treasurer.
And we'll go ahead and start off. I think everybody wants to know what is the primary goals for this year for student government.
Yeah, well, thanks for asking, Mills. We're working on a lot of things all together as an executive team. So really putting forward a big concert for our students in conjunction with homecoming this year on November 4th. The event's going to be called Cockstock. So a little bit of a playoff of words and kind of similar to Woodstock, but Carolina version, right? So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be announcing who the headlining artist will be, and I think it's going to be someone that everyone wants to go and see.
Oh, we're going to be really excited to hear that.
Yeah, so that's something coming down the pike for us, in addition to the It's On Us campaign from my office as well as the other two executives, which is all about promoting sexual assault awareness here on campus. And so I think that students will be very familiar with the campaign by the time the fall semester is over. We're really trying to make it a household name here on campus to make sure that students are familiar with how we can all play our part in preventing sexual assault here on campus. I'll let you guys share a little bit.
Well, for me, I think it's very much about reconnecting with students. So for us to continue to visit student organizations, I think that's something that we're all really looking forward to, but also listening to students' kind of concerns and desires. One of the things we're excited about is for our Greek students in the spring, having an option on their meal plan to get on-campus declining balance dollars, so $300 for the semester for students in Greek life to be able to eat maybe when they're to and from classes and they don't have time to go to their house. So just little things like that that I think are going to go a long way kind of in this big picture of us kind of redefining who we are as student government, how we listen to students, and the programs that we roll out for them throughout the year.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure, especially with the Greek meal plan, I'm sure that'd be really helpful. I know parking down there is insane, so
exactly.
That'll be really, really
yeah,
helpful.
Exactly.
And then this is a specific question for you, Simpson. How are you guys planning to use the budget to make all of these programs happen?
So we have what's called a new initiative fund, which is in our budget, and we've allocated money to the It's On Us campaign and to a couple other initiatives that we're planning on using this year. One thing that we have this year is for a student allocations fund. We have about $88,000 that we're going to be allocating to student organizations this year. It's a little bit down from what it was last year, but it's a lot of money and
it sure
couple
is.
bucks. Oh yeah, we're actually going to be having our first treasurers workshop this Friday. And so all student organizations, their president or treasurer has to attend that in order to receive funding from the student allocation fund.
Oh, okay, well that's definitely good to know. I'm sure that a lot of people will be glad to hear that. Especially, I know y'all's campaign had a lot to do with getting more people involved with student government. What do you think, or how are y'all going about doing that?
Yeah, so I can tackle that first if that sounds good to you guys. Right now we're pushing out applications for freshman council. So freshman council is kind of our intro level of student government, obviously, as its name indicates, for freshmen. The deadline is the end of the month, so August 31st. And what basically freshman council is it's a way to lead the freshman class with a budget that's designated just for the council among 30 or so of freshmen who comprise, the council. And there's different committees on there: academics, first year experience, multicultural, and a few others, that freshmen can really find their own groove in leadership within student government as a first year student on the council.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds like a really good opportunity, especially for people that want to be involved with government and like political science majors. And stuff.
Absolutely.
So also, I do want to ask, since y'all have had your cabinet and everything, how is that working? Like, how do y'all work together to get things done?
So for me, historically, the vice president's really just been in charge of Senate and kind of handling our 50 student senators and being there for them. One of the cool things that we've been able to do this year is kind of redefine what it means to be the vice president. So I still kind of have a little bit with Senate and overseeing that, but we also kind of have a little bit, we call it a mini cabinet. I have a great group that kind of has surrounded myself in kind of the ideas and initiatives that we have found are important to students to tackle. So kind of a way we've grown student government a little bit, but also a way that we can hear students' concerns more and kind of have more manpower to get things done that's important for students.
That's always really, really good. Can you tell me about how y'all three work together to get things done and how those meetings, like, how they play out?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm usually the funny guy.
So he says.
Yes. It's been great, quite frankly, Mills. I think one thing that really works to all of our benefit is that we all like each other. We all get along well, and subsequently our initiatives all align too. So it makes the working environment in our office space in the Russell House, a very comfortable one, you could say. So we touch base, obviously every single day on stuff, but we meet as an executive, council once a week all together with our advisors here in student government. And it's great. Stinson's office runs the communications team, so he can probably tell you a little bit about that. And, like Ross just mentioned, the vice president's office looks over Senate, make sure that our senators have, the assets and the resources that they need to represent their schools in the proper fashion. And my executive cabinet is comprised of about 22 members, which range from sophomores to seniors who have specific jobs. So Secretary of Campus Outreach, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, or athletics, the list goes on, who have specific jobs that are their niches to make a difference for our student body. So Stinson, maybe if you want to explain a little bit what
communications is about.
Okay, so communications, we oversee all of our all the student government social media. When I came in, there were only 4 people to run a entire communications for the entire university. I've increased that number from 4 till 10. We're looking to grow that number as well. We're adding on graphic designers, more social media coordinators, and operations. Applications are live right now, so please do apply. But we've been working with that. We've seen our numbers on our social media going up. We're trying to be a lot more approachable. I know today we actually talked about the possibility of opening up our services to all student organizations, but that's still in the works. We got a little bit more groundwork we need to do before we're actually to get there. But my goal by the end of the year is to have that happen. So
yeah, I know a lot of communication majors will be really excited to hear that there's lots of opportunities, it seems like, in student government.
We've got room for you, Mills.
Oh, I don't know about my job is to cover you guys, cover it.
Might need to recruit you away from SGTV.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that you guys have been working so hard this summer to prepare for this school year. What did that look like?
So it had a lot of different areas. One, we got the chance to go down to the University of Florida and meet with the other SEC schools and really bounce our ideas and their ideas around to figure out what other schools are doing, how they are tackling issues on their campus, which has been honestly one of the really great things. The other good thing about the summer is that the administrators are a little less busy, we would say. So it was a great way for us to build those relationships and be able to pursue the things that we were interested in pursuing and setting up those meetings and setting up the monthlies that we wanted to with certain administrators. So the summer was quite fruitful in meetings, but it was a really productive way for us to get our name out there, to advocate for students, and to really push the opinions of students to the people who are kind of what we call the movers and shakers of the university.
Yeah, and that's really important. Last question, guys. You 3 have already been pretty successful, I would say, so far here at USC.
Thank you.
I know that the freshmen out there are nervous, freaking out about how to get started and what to do. Can you give them some advice on how to get started and how to really succeed here at USC?
Yeah, I think that we can probably all chip in on that one. I think it's important for freshmen to not be afraid to swing the bat, if that makes any sense. So I think freshman year, more than anything else, is about finding the best version of yourself amongst the best in your class in our Carolina community. So, I think that as a freshman, you can't do enough to figure out exactly what the best path is for you to be a leader, and also to figure out who you are as a person, who you are as a leader, who you are, as a student, figuring out the best path for you to find a career one day. So I think student government is a great way for students to explore all of those things. And the leadership and just the community that you can build, working together in a professional manner, but also in a family manner, having fun with each other, being productive, I think goes a far way. So that's kind of my advice.
My advice would be just to get involved. Some of my best friends who I've met in college have been through the organizations that I'm a part of. They've pushed me to be the person I am now. They pushed me to actually run for the position that I now hold. So my advice to them is just to get involved. There's over 450 different student organizations that are out there to get involved. That's not including club sports, intramurals, and things of that nature. Just get involved. You know me, I come from a military background coming in. I really didn't know anyone, and so how I met people was I got involved. So now I'm a member of the men's rugby team. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Psi Business Fraternity. I'm in student government. I started off on lab, and then I worked my way up to where I am now. So my advice would be...
he does it all.
So that would be my advice. My advice would be just to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important that freshmen pursue their passions and pursue what they, means the most to them, and not to be defined by just their major. But, being a pre-med, still getting involved in student government and still acting like I have a voice and I can share my opinion. So, I think that it's important for people to find their journey kind of through this undergraduate experience, and it's not going to be what they think it is now as freshmen, but to really embrace that learning experience and learning opportunity that student organizations present, but also to really enjoy it, because you only hopefully get 4 years to do it. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And just to piggyback on that too, Mills, I think it's important to learn how to manage your time.
Oh, yeah.
And
important.
I like to tell a lot of freshmen, I like to ask them, do you drink coffee? And if the answer is yes, then, the conversation's over. But if they say no, the next thing I say is start drinking coffee and start waking up in the morning, because
Yes.
you only have 4 years here, hopefully, if you need an extra football season. I'm sure that we can work on that. But you only have 4 years and the clock is always ticking. And so that means that every day counts for your academics and also for the friendships and just the relationships that you can build while being a student here. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is some great advice. I personally love coffee, so I'd be okay with having that one. But that's all we have for you guys. Thank you so much for stopping in and talking with me, and I can't wait to see what all student government's going to do this year.
Thank you for having
Thanks,
us.
Mills.
We enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.